Hello everyone, welcome to our G&T with Glenn here, of course, myself, and I've got Kris here as well. And so the G&T series is all about, it's about clients. So it's less about me today, it's more about our clients and their stories and the wisdom that they share. And so Kris has got plenty of stories for us. Can't fill them all in today, can we, Kris?
No,
but we'll do some good ones though today. So Kris, I'd like to hear your side of the story of when you came to meet me.
Okay, so I had just been through some life traumas.
Yes.
I had been nursing my husband and he passed away within 5 months, and then I had been at the same job for 30 years and
That's enough to want to retire, isn't it?
But the practice that I worked at was being sold and had been taken over by new owners.
Yeah.
So I found that rather traumatic as well. I was also coming up towards retirement age and I was in a mess, basically, still traumatised and also not sure of superannuation, pensions, Centrelink, and thinking I would need to find a financial planner who you were highly recommended by a friend. So even though that was scary because my husband and I had been to see a financial planner 10 years previously and we were very, very badly burnt.
Yeah, and that was actually a referral too, wasn't it?
It was a referral. But I think, and then 12 months later was the global financial crisis. And so we lost everything. Timing was not good at all. Not at all, no.
Because I remember when we sat down together, you were sharing your history and stuff like that. It was like, can we just have a cup of tea? Just let's have a pause for a minute. Let's have a cup of tea. Because you knocked me back for the first cup of tea. We got the second one. And so also during that process of like engaging with me, you brought a friend along as well.
I did. I think because I was still so traumatised from our first crisis that I just needed somebody who, perhaps because of my state of mind at the time, was able to listen also on my behalf, so we could bounce ideas back and forth afterwards. And I'm sure it was very traumatic for you, but you were very, very good about it, and it gave me just more confidence in. And then once I had that first meeting with you, I felt extremely confident. Yeah,
I think it's really great, and I actually don't see it enough where someone that is by themselves brings along another trusted relative or friend just for a second opinion, or as you said, like when there's so much information going through, you can't hear it all. No. I tend to speak a little bit fast too, but then they'll pick up on things that you might have picked up on.
Exactly.
Yeah, and so I was actually pretty impressed that you did bring someone along. I thought it was good. I felt actually more comfortable, bizarrely.
Oh, good, because I thought I would traumatise you as well.
Try. No. Yeah, that's good. Excellent. And so from that experience, is there any sort of tips around seeking advice that you could share?
I think if my circumstances had been different, it would have been good to get advice earlier. Earlier,
okay.
And especially retirement advice earlier.
Yeah,
would have been, but the circumstances didn't allow for that. But I would advise anyone else to get early advice.
So Kris, many moons ago, is that I think you were 16 at the time. Was you were sharing the story about with work and trying to look for work and needing to get work because Dad passed away, didn't he, at that time, and Mum was a single mum.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, and I had a younger sister. We needed support, and it was very difficult and to get a pension in those days, and it took a long time. So there was no money. Dad didn't have a will, so things took a long time, and so I had to leave school, and I was in business college at the time and had to find a job, which I did. And about 6 months later, I lost that job through no
fault of your own,
no
so to
fault
speak.
of my own, and then found it greatly difficult finding another job.
Yeah.
And then in the end, it must have been about 18 months later, I still couldn't find a job, and I joined the army.
Oh, wow.
And which, after having gone through the previous 18 months, which was quite traumatic, I found the army finally gave me confidence in work and yes.
And other forms of your life as
absolutely
continued?
Yes, absolutely. I think that has strengthened my character for what life was to dish out.
Yeah, because it would be fair to say as well, like because you met David.
I did.
Your husband, when he was in the army too, wasn't he?
He was.
Yeah.
I got after I was in the army for about 8 months, I got an overseas posting to Singapore, and so I was with the Australian Anzac Force, and my husband was with the British Army there, and that's where we met and got married.
Yeah, wow. And I think with relationships is that we can have partners that look after the finances and things like that, but for you to have sort of that single life, so to speak, and the confidence then to get into the army, that must help as well.
Well, very much so, because my husband wasn't overly involved in the finances.
No.
So yes, I think that helped. Very much so.
Yeah, and because that's something that I definitely see as an advisor, is that there'll be one partner stronger on the finance side of things than the other.
I think that's usual. Yeah.
And if a partner divorce or if they pass away, that can certainly leave a hole in the relationship about now I've got to take on the finances and things.
Very much so. Very much so. And I mean, even though I did do a lot of the finances for even after Dave passed away. Yeah. I still found it overwhelming.
Still a struggle, even that.
A big struggle.
Yeah.
Yes.
And in what sense did you find there was some issues there?
I think because Dave understood superannuation where I didn't. I was really quite ignorant about that. Yeah. So
that's for later in life.
So that's where you came in.
Yeah.
And also
I bring it more back to the present, don't I? Yeah.
And also Centrelink, I'd had a traumatic experience with them when Dave first got ill. Yeah. So the thought of absolutely even applying for a pension in Centrelink was just beyond my.
Yeah. And on that, you really got caught up in the red tape, and it was such a stressful time with David being so sick, and just the bureaucracy of it all, and that is a real issue around Centrelink these days.
Very much so, because some of the questions were just so demeaning, and I found that traumatic.
And being able to lean on someone to help you out with that.
Oh, thank God for Glenn.
Excellent.
Yes.
That's lovely. And look, not uncommon as well about when you mentioned about not having the estate planning, like the will and things like that. That's not uncommon, and that's an important aspect as well.
Yeah, very much so. Thank goodness my husband and I at least.
Yeah. So with today, Kris, some key takeaways there was definitely one with seeking advice, which is great to get a referral from a friend or another professional to see an advisor, but then that didn't really help too much in the past either. But you were saying that having a family member or a friend in a meeting, it was good. Yeah,
it was. I think that was the key for the first meeting, and even I think after the second meeting was finished, I had the confidence then in you, and I felt quite confident. So that was a very big issue for me. Yeah, and you made me feel at ease straight away, and if I didn't understand anything, you were very willing to put it into layman's terms and into very easy terms. And
we like to talk things up as planners, but to make it quite simple in a conversation.
And then even if I'd go home and think about things and I wasn't sure about anything, I'd just give you a call, and you were always very happy to answer my questions immediately. So and my concerns. So that worked wonderfully for me, and it gave me the confidence I needed.
Yeah. That's fantastic. And the other takeaway I got as well, where you mentioned about the will situation too with
Yes.
with mum and dad. Yeah.
That was very difficult, and that was a very difficult period for my mum, but also for myself, because I had to go to work.
Yeah.
I couldn't finish my studies, and I found that when my husband and I got married, we made sure we always had a will in place, because that was paramount.
Yeah.
Up-to-date will.
Yeah, and it makes it so much easier from a estate perspective.
Absolutely, yes.
Money goes in the right place. Hey?
Because that was exactly when my husband did pass away. So suddenly that was one of the easy things to deal with.
Oh well, and I think too with having mum as a single mum, and like the job, trying to get work and all that during those times. I know at the time of videoing this now, we've got high unemployment. It's likely to increase higher. To have that confidence was great as well.
Oh, very much so. And I think that it's important, and you just have to get out there and get on. I had to get on with it. That was how it was. Yes.
Yeah. Well, thank you everyone for listening to our G&T, and Kris, absolute honour. Thank you so much. Very appreciative.
No, thank you, Glenn, because you saved the day when I needed it most, and you were there when I needed it most.
Yeah, thank you, Kris.
Thank you.
And for us, it's as advisors. It's we really appreciate it.
You don't have to do that.
Yes, of course we do.
Aren't they stunning?
They are lovely. They're very nice.
Beautiful.
For us as an industry, we talk a lot about finance, but it's about people, Kris. So
Absolutely.
It's fantastic that you've come along and been a client with us and continue to be.
Yes.
And so it's an honour for us.
Thank you, and I'm very happy to recommend you to my friends.
Thank you, Kris. And G&T.
G&T.
Wouldn't be gotta have a
real G&T.
Yeah, a real G&T.
Oh,
thank you.
Where did you whip that at?
Yeah, out of my pocket. Thanks, guys. Thank you.